In the last chapter of RK Motors' Legend of Le Mans series, we bore witness to the exacting assembly and testing required in preparation for the rebirth of P1046, the car which placed America at the center of the global motorsports stage for the first time. But now as the legend looks to re-enter the arena at Circuit de la Sarthe, will it be for a hero's welcome, or will the story of P1046 be regulated to the memories of champions past?
The win in 1966 was really important to my grandfather and to the company, and so to go back 50 years later and to be there with my dad to celebrate that anniversary and to see us win again was an incredible experience, one that I will never forget.
50 years, one family, the incredible American motorsport fairy tale is complete. The domination over unbeatable Ferrari accomplished by one Henry Ford has now been reaffirmed by a new Ford of the same name, his grandson, Henry Ford III. Where Henry Ford II began the Ford GT legacy, his grandson sought out and staked a new claim to his family's place in motorsport history.
I think what resonates with people about the Ford versus Ferrari rivalry is it's kind of an underdog story. I mean, Ford had never won in Europe on the stage at Le Mans. Ferrari was the dominant figure in sports car racing in the 60s. They were the champion. And we were coming to prove to the rest of the world that we could take on the best. And we did that in 1966 with 1046 when it crossed the finish line.
Legends never lay idle. Even as P1046 rests on the pristine coast of Pebble Beach, its painstaking reassembly is judged in scrupulous detail by adoring fans and the acknowledged expert-class judges of the Concours d'Elegance, both of who will ensure that a restoration such as P1046 has merits which reflect its laurels.
We are here at Pebble Beach celebrating the GT40 and 50 years of its history as one of the most dominant race cars of all time.
To be at Pebble Beach is to be among the best of the best, and it's an honor to be selected to be a participant. It was great that, Ford and Sandra and Martin Button and the folks who organized Pebble made a whole GT40 class to honor their 50th anniversary, so it's just all culmination of a couple things all come together that I think is really, really neat.
It feels great to have this car at this event because this is my favorite car, and this is a car I've loved since childhood. And to be able to have restored it and to bring it here and to show it off to the world is amazing.
It looks like the car was built for the first time a week ago. It's incredible. Everything is done perfectly. It's beautiful. It is just an absolute pristine automobile.
But the steep cliffs of Monterey are a far cry from the rolling hills of the French countryside. Before P1046 made the journey from Le Mans to the Concours, it had to once again be tested back on the original circuit that forever sealed its legend.
At Le Mans, the car performed flawlessly. We had a great time. We did parade laps before the event. The response from the public was fantastic, and it was sort of surreal to see the car running around the same circuit it did, because I've been looking at black and white photographs for the last 2 years, and to see it in color running around that same circuit was an experience.
Is this where the story of P1046 ends, or does the current conclusion simply mark the beginning of a new chapter? One where the tale rendered in P1046 will be used to begin a new journey for the next 50 years. Clearly, this legend will have its sights set on a new finish line.
What's next for Ford and for 1046 is to continue spreading the message of Ford as an innovative company and being able to celebrate the heritage that 1046 represents. And to see 1046 together with the new Ford GT, I think is a proof point of Ford as an innovative company. And that's the message that I think resonates with everybody.
1046 is the best car I've ever restored, and it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to ever top this. I mean, this is, as a race fan and a Shelby fan and a Ford fan, there's just no car better, in my opinion. As this project comes to a close, I'm very grateful to Ford Motor Company for all the support they've given, and to Rob Kaufman and RK Motors for the support they've given. But we couldn't have done this project without all the people in the GT40 community who have gone above and beyond to help this project get to this stage.
I think what's special about this car is the history behind it, which I was aware of course, but as you do more in detail and research, you probably appreciate it more, and then seeing people's reaction and the enthusiasm of people you don't know that are all over the planet. Thank you so much. It's great to see the car. They want to hear it run, and it's just, it really resonates with people, which I think is just really neat to be able to make that come back to life.
To my family and me, 1046 represents the realization of my grandfather's desire to beat Ferrari, and I think it represents the beginning of a truly dominating period for the Ford Motor Company, in which we won Le Mans 4 years in a row, and 1046 is what started it all.
The legend of Le Mans was never a story about a car. It's about a man whose claim to glory was writ large in a blue oval that bore his name. A man who, when presented with the odds not in his favor, embarked on an all but impossible challenge and assembled a team of the very best who rose to the occasion when America needed them the most. But legends are not simply created by those who dream. Legends are forged in the annals of history by those who dare to forego the expected for the impossible. Such is the story of P1046, a man who dreamed, a team who sacrificed, and a custodian who resurrected a legend. The legend of Le Mans.
First place for the Ford GT Mark II, and a first-time win for America at Le Mans, the world's most respected auto race.
Well, if you were patient and interested enough to watch all the installments of our restoration of GT40 1046, I hope you enjoyed it. We were trying to make it a very public exposure of the car. To me, it's about having people enjoy what we did and appreciate it and preserve the history. It's sort of the same mentality that stands behind the company itself when we're dealing with clients and cars coming in and out. We sell hundreds of cars a year, so not every single one is a Pebble Beach Concours restoration, nor should it have that kind of investment necessarily put into it. But that's really what stands behind it. That's the mentality. The people who are in the company, appreciate what we're doing and trying to spread really the hobby of collector automobiles and the enjoyment of them out into the world. And that to me kind of connects the whole side, which is why are we doing this? It's the love of the cars, preserving the history, and then having a business that stands behind it that kind of connects all the dots, which has to me been a goal for most of my career. So I think it's pretty neat to be able to have happen.